All right, are you ready?
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Carlisle Tattoo Co. Bold, bright and everlasting. You can find us at 178 Carlisle Street, St Kilda, Melbourne, Australia. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Carlisle Studios. My name is Hal Hunter. I'm here with Bella Hunter.
Hello.
How's your week been, Bella?
My week has been good.
Yeah?
Yeah, that didn't sound very lively, did it?
No, it sounded all right.
Yeah?
Go for it.
My weekly recap. Well, not much really happened because I feel like it's been a bit of a quiet, chilly weather week.
The weather's been terrible.
Yeah, so just been going to work really. I think the last I spoke about my week last time was about shading that large back job of the woman and tiger. So I busted out pretty much all of the shading other than the yellow in the tiger, which is going to take up a lot of time to do. But I did that. So that took us quite a few hours to get that done. So yeah, one session to go in that. So I think all up it'll be a 3-session back job, which is very good.
That's
very
good.
Exciting.
Yeah.
And then I had another, that wasn't a day session. I had a day session the other day with a regular customer. Usually she only ever gets like 1 or 2 palm-sized pieces. And this time she sat so well. We had one little lunch break and I think we did 6 or 7 like hand-sized designs.
Okay,
So
nice.
that was very impressive for her. Well done, Maddie. And then on the weekend, we actually caught up with some friends. Ben,
we did too, yeah.
Ben and Katie and their little daughter, Lucy. And which got me thinking, Ben was the first person that I did a like real pressure situation tattoo on. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, it was terrible. And thankfully it was in a very hidden spot, like under his ass cheek. So thankfully I never, ever, ever have to see it again. But
it wasn't even bad.
it was a terrible tattoo.
Bad. It wasn't bad.
But it was terrible experience because it was the first time that I'd tattooed like anyone other than me or you, Hal. And it was like the end of the day at Vintique and there was like 4 or 5 of you guys. I think it was like Scott.
No, it was just me and Scott.
Dave was there.
Okay.
You and Ben, and you were all just like screaming at me when I was trying to do the shading, saying just like, whip it, just whip it. Bella, just fucking whip it. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
We weren't yelling at you.
You were yelling at me.
No, we weren't.
You were. Anyway, so that was a great memory that brought up.
Nice.
And that's my week.
All right. Well, Charles and Jack are here doing the cleaning. Let's get a weekly jiu-jitsu update. Charles?
Good morning. Hello, listeners. What's the update? What happened?
I want to know how the session was.
Okay, so it was pretty good, actually. So first half an hour, you're just doing like the instructor's running you through whatever fucking bullshit you have to do. Last half an hour is when you're just rolling, like sparring, basically. And then so I picked Jack straight off the bat because I wanted to get him while he was still fresh. And then I tried that submission you showed me, the one you said is dog, but I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it on Jack. The one where you wrap your legs around in your arms.
Yeah.
And I was squeezing the life out of him, but he just, it seemed like he was indifferent to it. He just was laying there. I was like, oh.
I'll die before I tap.
Yeah.
Is he too flexible for you?
I don't know if it's a flexibility, but he hasn't got much to wrap around, so I couldn't like, if he was a big boy, you could really like squeeze because he had that girth, but he hasn't got the girth yet. Anyway.
How'd you go, Jack?
Yeah, it went pretty well. I only got tapped 2 times compared to like 20 last time.
Yeah, so that's good. Second session it was, yeah?
Yeah. Still had no fucking idea what I was doing though.
Did Charles tap you out?
Nah, not this time.
Damn, Charles.
I reckon if I got him at the end, so like at the end of the half an hour, I reckon I would have tapped him, but he was screaming around. He had too much energy at the start.
Yeah, dude. At the end, I was gassed. I was wheezing. I was like, some dude's like sweaty armpit was like in my mouth and it was so unpleasant.
I'll show you the photo of Jack.
You didn't submit anyone?
No chance. Not yet.
Right, okay.
You can see like
Yeah, I saw the photo. Yeah. I liked it.
Soon though, we're getting there. I reckon next session might get me first one.
I'm excited to see it.
Jack's just full defense mode trying to stay alive at the moment.
That's all you need to be.
Yeah, I'm just tucking the chin.
Like, the mindset... Oh, wait, can we say like swear words and shit? The mindset is like, when you're rolling, you're like, this bloke's going to rape me if I don't like defend myself. That's what I've got in my head.
But I
And
feel
that
like
pushes
that's what
me.
you want, because in the real world, when someone is trying to fuck you up on the street,
Exactly.
you know, they're not saying, "Oh, I'll go soft on them."
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
with ya.
So that's it. We're going like full rape defense.
Yeah, you have to
I'm saying if it's you or me, brother, it's gonna be you. It's not gonna be me.
prepare for the worst.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Well, that's a nice start to our morning, isn't it?
Yeah. Welcome to the episode, listeners.
That's the clickbait caption.
Oh, these boys haven't stopped talking,
I
but
think
they
we
don't
may
have
have lost a few
microphones, so you
listeners
can't
now.
hear them. Yeah, okay. Or maybe people are going like, yeah, that's the truth. When you're rolling on the mats in the jiu-jitsu, it's
Yeah.
like you got to have the killer mindset.
Yeah, we need like the toxic masculinity vibe back. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say it's toxic.
Oh, I don't say that. That's just what people call it. I think it's wonderful.
It's called visualization, Val. A lot of professional athletes do it.
Yeah, good. They should.
On to my week. So I did one session of jiu-jitsu. Not bad. Got submitted 5 times in 5 minutes. So that's one submission a minute. Rolling against a guy called Jack down at the gym that I train at. So that was unpleasant, but good learning experience. Then had the worst surf possibly I've ever had.
Yeah, can I just say, you got home very quickly after you left.
Yep.
You were gone, what, maximum of 45 minutes, an hour?
Well, I try and get one session in a week with my mate Ariel. And Ariel's recently moved to Mount Eliza, which is only about half an hour from us. So a bit easier for him to get down to the beach now. So we were going to go on Sunday, which is our usual surf day. Conditions were horrendous. So we were like, nah, we'll go on Monday. He had an RDO on Monday. Conditions were equally as bad on Monday, but we'd sort of like committed to surfing every weekend. So yeah, went and had a surf, went to one of our favorite spots. It was just terrible. It was actually like, it was big, crazy onshore winds, like very unfun surfing conditions. And we were like, you know what, we're here. We may as well fucking go out for a paddle. So we paddled about 20 meters offshore and then couldn't really get any further out and just sort of like tried to catch a few waves there and caught one on my stomach. And then I was just gassed from paddling.
Sorry, when you say you caught one on your stomach, what, you kept your stomach on your board? Because
Yeah, I didn't stand up.
Yeah, okay.
I was just like...
That's what I assumed.
I was like, nah, this is going nowhere. And then after about 15 minutes, I was like, I'm so fucking exhausted here. So
You may as well have just body surfed at that point.
went in. Ariel then came in. We were then like, fuck, that can't be it for the weekend. So we drove to a different beach with our wetsuits on in the car.
Oh, you did not?
Yep.
Yuck.
And then we got there and it was even worse.
Oh, sorry, how long did you sit in the car with your wetty on for?
Like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, not bad. Had a towel around me. Got to the beach, got out. I was like, this is fucked. I'm not going in. Ariel's already walking down on the beach with his surfboard. And I was like, mate, there's nothing here to surf. Like, it was just storm conditions, essentially. And I was like, if you want to go out, you can go out and I'll watch. And if you catch one wave, I'll come out. And then he was like, oh, nah, fuck it. You won't come out then, because he wasn't thinking he was going to catch a wave.
He just wanted the momentum there to hang out.
So then we just went home. So I got home and I'd been in the water for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. And yeah, it was very disappointing. But this weekend's forecast looks really good. So happy for that.
Oh my gosh.
So that was the surfing update, everyone. On the work update, I had a good customer last week. Everyone's a good customer, but
Are they?
yeah, well, just one of the notable ones was
The ones that show up are good customers.
Yeah, I tattooed this bloke from Newcastle, Blake. He comes down maybe twice a year usually, and just does like 3 full day sessions in a row. So last week we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and he got 30 tattoos in 3 days. Plus a few little ones, which I'm not going to count, like, you know,
That's a
like
lot. Like,
little
yeah, like a
star
bullet hole or something.
Nah, stars or whatever, small shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he got, how many did he get? He got like 6 on his chest. Big starter with a big
Yeah, you did the
sternum
big
stomach
skull,
thing. Yeah, ripping through the skin.
2 on the pecs, one on either side.
Yeah, so 4 on the pecs plus the middle one.
Oh, yeah, because you did the
So,
swallows.
yeah, only 5 on the front. And then, yeah, the rest were on his legs. And
But he also did like your knee ditches and stuff.
yeah, we did like both knee ditches, both sides of knees, like heaps of shit
The
spots.
last one that you finished on for the entire 3 days was on his ankle bone. Disgusting.
It was bad. Yeah, so that was really impressive. And if you're wanting to get a lot of tattoos, I mean, it's a very effective way of doing it, coming in. But you've got to be a certain type of person. And I don't think there's many people out there who could sit like he sits.
Definitely not.
So, yeah.
Can I also just throw in here, I love how every single time he comes in, you get like your body dysmorphia comes back.
I wouldn't say I've got body dysmorphia at all.
I would.
I wouldn't.
Okay. Well, anyway, your family and I will just believe that.
That's what people who don't go to the gym or don't work out say about anyone who goes to the gym or like wants to look a certain way. They're like, oh God, you're fucking obsessed with it. Like, what's wrong with you? You've got body dysmorphia. I'm like,
no, but on the days where Blake is here, you compare everything that you eat.
Yeah.
So like day one, you had like a pizza scroll. You bought 2 pizza scrolls that morning from Baker's Delight.
Yeah.
And you ate one while he sat there eating no noodles in his, rice paper rolls?
He got rice paper rolls or whatever. Like, he's very
hold
healthy.
the noodles, weirdo.
Very healthy.
And then after that, you couldn't consume your second pizza scroll because you felt guilty.
Yes,
and then
that's
the
true.
next day you went and bought like Greek yogurt, protein bar, because you just want to look like him. You want his physique.
I don't necessarily want to look like him, but it's like, you know, when he's sitting there eating healthy food and I'm eating objectively not necessarily healthy food, I go, fuck, I could be eating healthy food like him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but it's only ever on days where you have customers like that and you're like, fuck, I'm going to change this up. And then immediately when they walk out the door, you're back to your normal eating habits.
Well, I don't eat badly.
No, I would say a pizza roll for lunch is really not that bad.
Yeah, but you're also the person who's like, oh, have a fucking burger and chips for dinner. You deserve it. I'm like,
fucking oath I am, because I love burgers and chippies.
What's the goal though? Is the goal to...
The goal is to have a yummy meal.
Exactly.
Perfect.
There you go. There you go, Bella.
And also, let me just say, through pregnancy, I'm going to condone eating chippies as much as any human wants because I'm just craving salty things.
Well, you'll be happy to know, Bella, that
I'm not going
to argue with you because I got several messages.
What?
Saying, stop being mean to pregnant Bella.
What? Did you really?
Well, one here, yeah, from Martha.
Oh, she's one of my customers. She's lovely.
Stop being mean to preggy Bella, X.
Yeah, thanks, Martha. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I needed that.
And I'll say, Martha, I'm not being mean to her. I'm just keeping her in reality.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, being honest.
I want you to wake up feeling nauseous every day.
How do you know I don't? We had this argument the other week.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Argument done.
All right, first question. We've got heaps of questions this week. We're not going to go through them all.
And I have a surprise for Hal.
I'm excited.
As well.
I'm bloody excited.
And no, it's not twins.
Hopefully it's not that motorbike because I don't want it anymore.
It's not the motorbike,
Good.
Don't worry.
Yep. Got a message from, I've cut the name out. Oh, Lachlan S. I did this tattoo on him the other week. Mm-hmm. We think we spoke about it. It was the panther that was like in the butterfly, the panther face that was in the butterfly.
Symmetrical.
With all the colour and stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, when you get your brother on the podcast, which I've mentioned to my brother a few times, but I don't know. I will get him on, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Can you talk about the filming of the HBC kit videos? Then he said they were good as.
Yeah. So we've spoken about HBC a few times before. It was the cycling business that Hal had with his dad and brother.
Hunter Brothers Cycling.
Yeah, which they no longer do.
No?
But you used to film whenever you had like new releases or you just needed to build up some traction online. You would always post ridiculous like kit testing videos or just like stupid shit. And it was very funny.
Well, I think I'm glad some people thought it was funny.
Hey, I say
think
it was a great marketing technique.
Yeah, in a way. But then it was also, I think, like somewhat detrimental to the brand.
Yes.
Well, not necessarily to the brand, but it was... So we used to essentially... I've explained it in a few other episodes, and the Instagram's Hunter Bros, B-R-O-S, cycling. It's still up there and stuff. We haven't posted anything since we ended it.
But some of the videos are
But
still
all
there.
the stuff's still up there. So if you go on there and you are interested, you can have a look and you can see sort of what we're talking about. But because it was like a family thing and it was mainly me and my brother and we just wanted to have fun.
And you can also force your brother into doing almost anything.
Yeah, so it was like when I guess we sort of tried to go a little bit for that sort of shock marketing, you know, and typically in sort of cycling apparel, the industry, it's quite mature. And, you know, cycling, especially road cycling, definitely is more of a, I guess, like a mature sport in the way that it's like there's essentially like a pretty high cost barrier to getting into it.
Yes.
So you find that, you know, if someone's, you know, in order for someone to be able to spend $5,000 on a bike and then pay $500 for a piece of Lycra and buy several of those kits, like different outfits, it's like, you know, they've got to have some money and have a job and stuff.
Yeah, you're investing quite a bit of cash into a hobby or a sport.
So it's like you find the people who they're generally like a little bit older, say 25 plus.
Yeah.
And that means then, you know, like, and it's also performance apparel. So it's, you know, we were just sort of thinking that, you know, all the brands that we were sort of competing against or in the same industry as, you know, they all put out the same product testing videos and they're all very serious. It was all like, you know, the highest quality garments, you know, we test them in the fucking different conditions.
Yeah.
You know, this tiny bit of Lycra keeps you warm and, you know, but it also wicks away the sweat and shit like that. You know, like
it was all very serious, just like straight to the point marketing.
Stuff that's true, you know, and it was all presented in a very similar way. And the funny thing with the cycling industry is 95% of the premium cycling apparel brands
made at the same factory.
Get their stuff manufactured in the same factory.
Yes.
Which is a premium like cycling apparel factory, 100%. But, you know, all the fabrics are the same. It was just like...
there's not much point of difference between them all. You're pretty much buying the brand name and all the designs.
You know, and so then it just comes down to marketing and they obviously trying to market, you know, different jerseys and from, you know, different fabrics and stuff. So we sort of went down a different path and it was like we would just do like the weirdest... Well,
it was definitely your point of difference with your brand compared to others was your very loud prints and loud marketing techniques.
So the one that comes to mind was like, so in the cycling shorts, which are called Nicks, they have like a padded
crutch area. So, you know, for sitting on and that's called a chamois. So, you know, like the quality of the chamois is actually really important because, you know, people are riding, say, 100 Ks a day in these shorts, so it's just 5 hours roughly on the bike, you know. It's like, so you need them to be comfortable. It kind of feels like you're wearing like a little bit of a nappy.
Yep.
And I can say I've worn them a few times for videos and it's quite comfortable.
With the apparel, it's like they are performance garments, so it's like the quality and the performance actually is the number one thing. Then the design is secondary. So we sort of wanted to, you know, like emphasize that the premium stuff was there, but I guess like to do it in a way that was
different.
Well, the same, a way that was like would resonate with our brand and our personalities and the way we marketed stuff previously. So we had this series of videos called garment testing. They used to be on YouTube, but we took down the YouTube account. But some of them are on Instagram still. And it was essentially like in the photography studio, we would film these videos. And the final one I think we did was it actually got banned.
Yeah, you got shadow banned on
nudity
Instagram.
Or something like that. So it was
because you could see like a little bit of hair below your brother's belly button, and
it was mine. So the way we cut it was, I walked into the scene and I just had the Nicks on, and they sort of have like a shoulder straps, so they stay up. So I then pulled them down to my ankles, and the next shot was like obviously it just coming down to my ankles, so it was giving the illusion that I was naked. So I take it off, then my brother walks into the scene, and you can only see that like from my waist up, and I'm shirtless, so it looks like obviously I'm standing there naked. He's kneeling on the ground, so you can see his shoulder and head. And then I get a can of beer, and I can't remember why. I think it was like my brother had been to like a bush doof party, and he had this like slab of $1 beers. I can't remember what the beers company is called.
It was his friend's cheap shit beers from some party.
So he had them in the car, and we were just like, you got to remember also, like we had $0 budget, so we were just making up videos.
Whatever we could find around the house, laying around, or like just anywhere, an op shop or something, you would use.
And so essentially the premise of the video was how good the chamois are so good, I can ride my bike in them, and you don't wear underwear or anything under them, so it's like the chamois touches like your ass, and your balls and your dick and stuff.
Your gooch.
So I can ride in them, take them off. So crack this beer, I put the bike shorts inside out, and then like tipped the beer on the chamois and it all dripped into my brother's mouth and he drank the whole...
Yeah, so the beer is going from the can, dripping down into what would have been Hal's crotch sweaty area after a long ride, and then his brother's drinking it.
Yeah.
Saying like, this is how good it is.
And it was all different angles and stuff like that. And it was actually... I'm not going to say it went viral, but it was like, it went really...
blew up quite large.
It went really good because it was one of those things that was like, we're selling premium end apparel for like a high price point.
But you're taking the absolute piss out of it.
And essentially it was a piss take, which all of them were. And it's actually, I look back and it's like, that's the stuff that I'm sort of like most proud of in the way that I actually legitimately...
They were my favourite things.
I legitimately think that was like the way we cut it up and we made the video and stuff. I think it was actually like a good video and good marketing.
Because it was so different. It's so left of field. You're never going to see another brand trying to compete because it's like, well, you would be able to tell that they're just...
But at the end of the day, I don't know if it actually sold us any additional product. It might have...
Irrelevant. People have that memory of the brand now.
No, they do. But I have the memory of the brand as well because we weren't selling enough shit.
Yeah, well,
So
irrelevant.
But I always think that's the thing. It's like all the things that we did. Like there was this one photo shoot. I remember I bought my brother this red latex full body gimp suit on AliExpress. And I can't even remember what the context behind the photo was, but every time we used to go and do like product shots for the website, we used to just do some like weird photos. There's all these ones that are like me and my brother hugging and stuff. And
yeah, but looking like a bit sexual.
Yeah, and we put that on a t-shirt once and stuff. And I guess it was like people would describe it as like homoerotic, but the thing was like we were brothers and everyone knew that.
Yeah,
and
some people didn't.
I know. My brother actually had this...
he had multiple people DMing him on Instagram.
This guy from Germany who was like...
in love with him.
Sexually very interested in my
was
brother.
aroused.
And every single photo that would get put up of my brother, I could go back on the Instagram, I show people all the time. It's like every single photo of my brother, this guy would write back a message saying like, young men in Lycra are so sexy and
Yummy.
shit like that. Yeah, and stuff. And I was like, you got to remember at the time my brother was like 16.
Yeah, he was still in school. He looks older, but
yeah,
whatever.
definitely. Yeah, so I bought him this latex gimp suit thing. And then there was just a photo of me standing with him on a dog lead, with him next to me, like on all fours, and I was just wearing the kit.
Yeah.
And we just posted it. And I don't think there was any, and I seriously can't imagine like
what was going through
what
people's heads
some
when they
people
saw
would have
it.
just been like, what the fuck? Like, as
Can
if
you
I'm
imagine
ever
how
going to
many
buy
people-
this shit and wear it knowing that people are going to associate me with that.
Can you imagine how many people of like other brands or whatever, because people are so judgy and whatnot, would have screenshot that to like group chats being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
that's
think
the shit I like.
on one
It's
hand,
funny.
and like when we sort of wound it up at the end, I got a lot of messages from people within the industry and stuff, and it was really nice stuff. You know, it was like a lot of it was like, fuck, you guys really just did like what you wanted to do.
But
and
that's what you are always.
Of course,
that is your personality.
And that's like, I guess one of those things. It's like if you do the stuff you really want to do and you think's gonna like get a reaction or be interesting or be really different and stuff, it's like that doesn't always line up with the best way to sell product. So,
but I know that if you didn't do it the way that you wanted to do it, you would have regretted it. And you would have been like, oh, well, what if it did sell more kits? Or even if it didn't sell more kits, you're making it a memorable brand.
So I'll get my brother on. We'll talk about it a lot because he's got a lot of funny stories. Because I think
he'll stitch you up.
Definitely.
Hard.
No. I think he'll just be more honest and say like, there was a lot of shit that like he didn't want to do.
Oh, he didn't want to do any of it.
And even like going overseas and stuff, he like didn't want to do certain things, and I was like, no, we got to do it. It's like for the brand and stuff.
Yeah, when you were doing like the vlog of some of the trips, and he was like, I just don't want to fucking do it. And he talks like that when he's really frustrated.
I don't know if he does talk like that.
He does all the time.
It sounded like that kid from
It makes him sound a bit special,
the
but
Thornberrys.
he just gets really frustrated and can't get the words out when Hal pushes his buttons.
Yeah, so it was a fun time. But
I remember one time when I think you got this whip, like a actual whip.
That was one of the other garment testing videos.
Yeah, a full-blown one. You bought it home from overseas, wherever you were.
I bought it in Argentina.
Yeah, and you tried to do like garment testing by making it look like you were whipping your brother. Is that?
I can't remember whether. No, I was wearing the clothes,
And he was.
and we were saying I guess the premise was like, look how durable these fabrics are. So I was like bent over in the studio, and he had like essentially like an array of different like apparatus that he was gonna like hit me with or whatever. And one of them was the whip. One was like this big fucking meat cleaver.
One was like a boxing glove that he like
just
whacked
shit
you with
like
or
that.
whatever.
There was actually a funny one about the durability as well, where Ray was so like in cycling you can ride on these things called rollers. So they're like 3 cylinders that
It's
go
like a treadmill that you put your bike on.
exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and you just can spin your legs but you don't move. Obviously,
It's very hard. I've tried.
So we
it.
had one of them. My brother was riding it, and then again testing the products, so like testing the durability. And I came in and hit him several times on the arse with like a tennis racket. But what I didn't realize was I was actually hitting him with the frame of the racket on like his hip bone.
Oh.
And after I hit him the first time, he's screaming. He's like, "Stop! Stop!"
Yeah,
and
he got really angry.
I thought he was like acting.
So you went
I
again.
kept going. I hit him like 5 times, and it made a funny video in the end. But yeah, he came out a lot worse than I did in a lot of the things in the end.
I remember watching that when you came home after like the editing of it, and you showed me, and I was like, "Hal, he's in pain," and you're like, "Yeah, I didn't realize."
I actually
Like,
didn't.
you fucking asshole.
I didn't. I thought he was like acting. I
Yeah.
thought it was like he was playing it up for the camera. But anyway, yeah, we will get on and talk about it a lot more. And I get my dad on, and because I can't imagine what he was fucking thinking. He wanted to run like a legit business.
Yeah.
And then we're like,
Well,
oh, hey, we made the marketing video for the new Knicks.
His one fuck up, if he wanted a legitimate business, was to involve his 2 sons. So, James, that's on
letting
you.
us do what we wanted.
Giving you free reign.
Yeah. There's like a lot of, this was actually a really interesting question, Bella. And one that we've never been asked. I'll skip through the bit where he says he's a big fan of the podcast, obviously. That's what he wrote.
you.
Thank you. He goes, how do tattoo artists get paid? Do they get commission on the works they do? Or do they get paid an hourly rate, even if they're at the shop but not tattooing? Keep up the good work. Are you...
You want me to talk? Okay.
I'm not sure. You were just staring
I don't
at me.
know. Sometimes I know that there are questions that you're like, you don't even need to look at me, but I just know that you're like, Bella, let me take this one.
Well, I've got an answer for it, but you might also.
Yeah. Well, so
It should be the same answer.
yes, it should be. So in our shop,
I would say in 99% of tattoo shops.
yes, 99.95% of tattoo shops. In our shop, each artist is on a percentage cut with the shop, and I'm going to explain this so poorly.
Do you want me to just explain it?
Sure. This is why I just went silent, but you were like, come on.
So I don't know of any tattoo shops where someone gets paid a wage.
I've heard of a rumor about it, but I highly doubt it.
So essentially the way I would say all tattoo shops operate is it's just commission based. So all the artists who work in the shops are typically subcontractors. They run their own businesses. And then I guess you have to be invited to work in the shop or asked to work in the shop. And then, so there's no income unless you are tattooing. And once you do a tattoo, you then do whatever your percentage split deal with the shop is.
Every
So,
shop has a different split.
yeah, a lot of them are different. Some artists have different ones depending on who you are and what you're bringing to the shop and whether you require a lot of shop work or you have your own customers.
Because there
like
are plenty
that.
of customers that they might just do walk-ins purely that are brought in through the shop.
Yeah.
Whereas there are artists that would never do a walk-in because their clientele is large enough that they can book all of their own appointments.
Yeah, so it's commission-based percentage. Some shops operate with like a commission cap. So once you've paid X amount of commission to the shop per week, then you get 100% of your commission as the artist. Some shops, like we've got other incentives and stuff like that.
There are some shops that do, like, for example, I'm just going to say numbers, like a 60-40 split. So the artists would take home 60% of what they earn. Then the shop gets the 40% until you hit whatever target number they have.
And that will most likely reset every week and stuff.
Yes. So it's on like the 7-day week, normal.
Yeah. So, and then that is, I guess, that's the number one reason why typically apprentices don't get paid.
Yeah.
Is because the industry operates as you get paid for the work that you do.
Yes.
And the work, like any of us don't consider, cleaning and doing shop setups and stuff as work. That's just
a part of your
preparation. The actual work is doing tattoos. So
the application of tattooing.
Yeah. So, if you, I'll just be honest here. It's like our apprentice and stuff, after a certain amount of time, they get paid like a set amount of money per week. And that's because we want them here doing things. We don't want them to need to go and have another job and stuff.
I actually implemented that rule because I was in a position where Hal took on our financial burden, whatever, thank you. But you would prefer for the apprentice to be at the shop and learning and get them up to speed and ready to tattoo sooner rather than later. So it's better to have them at the shop than leaving and only working a few days a week to go and
have another job. Yeah, definitely. And
it's not heaps of money, but it's enough to feed yourself.
Everyone within the industry will have different opinions on that and stuff. I think over time, it will change, and the expectations of shop owners and stuff will change over time from what they have been previously. But yeah, to answer the question, I would say the vast majority of people are on commission based. And yeah, it's all pretty simple. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works.
Yeah. So if you don't tattoo that day, you don't earn any money.
No.
So that's why you see a lot of tattooers put up in the middle of the day or last minute no show, last minute cancellation. I have time available because they had a booking, they might not have showed up, and now they're like, well, okay, I need to earn my money. I'm here at work.
Yeah. And I don't know the structures of shops or, all around the world and stuff, so it might be different, but I'm just talking
of what we know and the shops that we've been in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right. So Bella, love the podcast again.
Thanks, gang.
So this guy's name's Brody, and he said, I'm just wondering what the work-life balance is like being a tattoo artist. For a long time, I've been thinking of starting a tattoo apprenticeship, but my Saturdays are usually super busy as I play footy in the winter. Would I have to sacrifice that? Any advice?
I am going to say yes, you will be sacrificing that, especially a Saturday, especially starting out.
Yeah.
I would be very, very surprised if a shop took you on as an apprentice and they said, oh yeah, take the Saturdays off.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to go into the apprenticeship thing because that's
another
discussion, and we get asked about it all the time, and we've spoken about it heaps previously, and
we had that one person say
one person said stop talking about it, so I'm very aware about that. So the work-life balance, I think as a tattooer, I would say from my personal experience, you can have a really good work-life balance once you get to a certain point. Yes. And I would say typically that comes in, and this is just my own experience, so everyone might have different opinions, but I would say typically that comes in once you've tattooed about sort of 5 years.
Yeah.
And you've established yourself within the industry, you've got a customer base, you've worked long enough in a shop to be able to make changes to your timetable and stuff like that.
And it not drastically affect the shop and everyone else.
And that's why you see, like as tattooers who have tattooed, 10 years, 15 years stuff, they might work different days of the week, a lot more flexible.
Weird hours.
All that sort of stuff, because they're sort of, I guess they're trying to have a better work-life balance. I would say this to any young tattooer that we got at the shop, and I've said this to all of them, myself included, Bella, everyone, is I think if you come into tattooing and you've got other priorities, it might be playing football, it might be going out on the weekends, you might want to do other things, surfing, whatever. It's like if you want to make the most of your tattoo career, and I always think once you're lucky enough to get your foot in the door as an apprentice and stuff like that, it's like,
don't fuck it up.
well, it's like, someone's taken a chance on you, and I always felt this with Bobby, and he never made me feel like this, but I always felt this myself, and it was like, fuck, he's given me an opportunity here, and I'm going to really try and make the absolute most of it.
Yeah. Almost
in a way to pay him back, to show that I was like, mate, you took an opportunity, it wasn't a waste of time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've done that.
I think you've reached that now.
Yeah, so and that's something that I'm actually really proud of, and I think everyone who gets into tattooing as a young tattooer should aspire to sort of make everyone who was around them when they started go, fuck, you know what? Like, he was the right kid to pick, because so many people do want to tattoo. So I would say it's like you can have all these other things you want to do in life, traveling, blah, 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 but if you are going to take it seriously as an art, as a craft, as your career, as your life, then it's like you shouldn't. I would say.
I would say prioritize.
Yeah. Go and do whatever the fuck else you want to, but don't fucking complain to me when
if it doesn't end up
like
being the best decision for you
because you haven't committed 100% to it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make it hard with sport and stuff like that. The reason I would say most tattooers work Saturdays is it's the easiest day to get work.
Yes, because most people generally work a Monday to Friday.
Exactly.
So they've got their weekends off. So and Saturdays are generally the day where people go out and do things, and Sundays are usually more of a chill family day.
And I remember that when I was younger, it was like, I started working Saturdays when I started tattooing. I'd never really worked Saturdays before, and you go, fuck, all my friends, all my family, and they're going out to lunches on Saturdays. They're doing shit on Saturdays, but I'm working, and it is a little bit of a hard adjustment.
It was hard for us at the start because I was working Monday to Friday.
Yeah, but then you realize it's like you can take Saturday. Like I would consider taking Saturdays off now or something because I'm
you're
confident
at a point in your
that
career where you're busy enough to fill your week.
Yeah.
And do all of the tattoos that you need to do or want to do.
Exactly.
To take that day.
Yeah. But if you're not able to get anything on a Tuesday, a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Then you should not be taking a Saturday.
You've got people who want to get tattooed on a Saturday, but you're like, hey, I'm not actually going to work Saturdays.
I would say stupid.
It's just a massive missed opportunity. And there you do limit your customer base massively by not working Saturdays.
Because I think one of our best decisions around the COVID time was when we were doing really late nights on Saturdays, because you could fit in at least 2 extra people in the day, and it brought so many new faces to the shop. It meant that you kept long-term clientele, but we did it for a short time, but it was so beneficial.
Yeah, so Saturday is definitely the easiest day to get bookings, or Sundays would be easy as well if you work on Sundays. So I would say, like to be more specific to you who are asking, Brody, is, and this is just my advice, and I'm not teaching you to tattoo or whatever or anything like that, but I would say it's like if you really do want to tattoo and stuff, it's like that should be 100% your goal. And if the person who's teaching you to tattoo wants you to work fucking Sundays and they want you to work Saturdays or whatever, it's like, well, that's what you need to do. And
they're your mentor.
If you don't want to tattoo bad enough to sacrifice other things to do that, then that probably says to me that you don't want to tat bad enough, because I know
if this is not what you wanted to hear, but this is brutal honesty.
I just feel like, people ask a question, so you may as well be honest. But
and how you've had opportunities from like local footy clubs or whatever to play footy on the Saturday and get paid for it, not heaps or whatever.
Enough.
Enough.
1,200 a game or whatever.
Yeah, but it was more important to go to work and do your job and earn that money because it was more beneficial to your long-term tattooing career as opposed to you and your overall fitness, because you could have just gone and exercised on your days off.
Yeah. So that
was a choice you made.
Yeah, definitely. And there would be lots of people out there who have great careers who don't work Saturdays and stuff like that. But, I would say, new person in a shop, new person in an industry, it's like you almost just want to be like a yes man, it's like someone says, oh, hey, can you stay late tonight because we've got a guest artist and they don't have keys and, they're going to work till 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going, yep, sick.
Yeah, sick, man.
I'm stoked to be here.
I'll lock up the shop, no worries.
Exactly. So
I think that's one of the things that makes the best impression. And it sucks at times, but to be the first at the shop as an apprentice or like the newest in the industry.
Just like a young tattooer.
Yeah. You want to be the first one there setting up, so when everyone else gets to the shop, it's all like prepared and ready for them. And then you want to be the last one leaving because you're like putting the best impressions in their head of you and your work ethic.
Yeah. And
you don't have to do it forever.
That doesn't mean you're going to be able to do good tattoos or anything like that. But I just think
you'll gain a lot of respect.
I was saying this to the apprentice at Vintique yesterday. It's like, just like putting in the time, putting the perception of effort and stuff like that. That's what people remember, because, I definitely think it's like you can have a great work-life balance. Like Bobby might take Saturdays off. You're obviously going to have time off. I might not work Saturdays in the future because, going to have a kid and stuff like that.
Yeah, our lifestyle will change a bit.
It's like I definitely wouldn't consider taking Saturdays off if I didn't have bookings throughout the week and my days weren't busy. You know what I mean? So Yeah, there's always a sacrifice in any work-life balance.
I feel like we've just crushed this bloke's dreams.
No, I just think being honest. But if you came in here and asked me the same thing,
I would say the exact same thing.
I would say, oh man, you can do whatever you want, but it's like everyone in here is working on a Saturday till 5 p.m. And if you're not here as the young tattooer, it's like everyone knows that.
Yeah. You are the master of your destiny.
Definitely.
Choose wisely.
Yeah.
That sounded like some like fucking Dragon Ball Z shit or something.
Yeah. I liked it though.
Yeah, I don't even like Dragon
inspiration.
Ball Z.
This is a there's some questions in this multi-question one. I'm pretty sure this guy tats actually. I didn't click on the account, but I have messaged him before. That I'm not going to answer because they're a little bit like just getting into shit. I was like, I'll feel like I'll say stuff that then other tattooers in particular will be like, having issues with.
We'll be getting hated online.
Yep. There's an apprentice question. Not going to answer that. This is, he wrote, more of a statement. Do you know Craigie Tats? His shit is so rad, bold, and solid as heck. And I don't know him personally, but I do really like his tattoos, so I thought I'd read that out.
His tats are fucking clean.
Very cool. I like him. Great tattooer.
Very, very clean.
This was a funny one because this is actually true. Has any American ever asked or commented on if you pronounce tattoo weird?
Yes.
Yes.
All the
Definitely.
time.
So,
but I'm gonna say they say it weird because we're used to. The
I don't
way
know how
say
we
it.
say it. I think people think we say it with a D, like tattoo. Tattoo.
I think it's just because we say it quite fast.
I don't know, but
They say like tattoo.
So there was a
Did you like that accent?
Yeah, a TikTok video that I put up once, and it had. I reckon every single comment was someone just writing tattoo with a D.
TADOO or something. Yeah.
And I was like, I guess maybe they do think I say it weird.
Yeah, whatever.
Tattoo. Yeah, I guess we do say it like that.
Yeah, I don't mind. Do you have any more questions or should I start my surprise?
I've got like 20 more questions on here.
Oh, okay. Maybe do 2 more.
2 more.
And then I'll do my questions for you because we might run out of time. We'll save the rest for another episode.
All right. This is going to be, I feel like this is one I've got to answer.
Great, because I love being silent.
But I'm going to tiptoe around this answer, okay?
I'm excited.
So it's about when you're starting out in tattooing. So he says one of the reasons he likes a podcast is listening to younger tattooers, which is us, and I appreciate that. Really driven. He said talented. I'm not going to say that about ourselves.
Well, you just did,
but
so embarrassing.
But he said the main thing, open-minded. And he says it's been really helpful listening to that. He goes, was it tough for you being surrounded? So he's fucked up the question, then written it again at the bottom. So that's why I'm reading it.
I'm looking at it being like, come on, Hal.
He said, was it tough for you when you were learning to sometimes be surrounded by folks who were old heads, aka the tattoo knowledge gatekeeping type? How did you approach that? Well, I can only speak from my own personal experience. And I got brought up under Bobby and Scott. And that's definitely influenced the way I sort of go around, keeping information or being open about information and stuff like that. So Bobby was really open with me about a lot of stuff. And I think that his main motivation was to get me good at tattooing so I could have a good career.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah. And Scott definitely as well.
Thanks, Scott.
Scott was definitely, I know he listens to the episode, so hello, Scott. Scott was definitely more on the, bit more intense about the...
For sure.
Putting the time in and paying your dues and stuff like that. And I really respect that as an approach as well.
Sorry, generally speaking, Bobby's a bit more of a loosey-goosey personality and Scott is a bit more of a structured, there's a way to go about it.
And I don't think he would take offense to me saying
that. No way.
Because it's not a bad thing. So I actually think coming up, I had the best of both worlds. And it gave me a good perspective on both sides of it. I definitely understand what you're getting at with the question about, an older generation. And I'm talking, say, more close to our parents' ages and stuff. Bobby and Scott are the generation before me, but Scott's only 2 years older than me and Bobby's, 6 years older than me. So it's pretty somewhat close in age. So that older generation, 50 plus, all that sort of stuff. And in my perspective, from where tattooing's come from, you know, it was definitely like put your time in, pay your dues, you know, essentially so grind your way to having a career and finding out information and stuff. I think with the internet and stuff like that, you can find so much information out now that it's like that's changed it a little bit. And yeah, I don't really know where I sit. You know, I think to a lot of people who tattooers, particularly older tattooers, they would think that I'm way too open about a lot of stuff and give it too much advice on things and all that sort of stuff. But then I know there's a generation underneath me, age-wise, who are really into the fact that I talk about certain things and being more open about it and stuff like that. So it depends, like whose opinions you're looking for and stuff like that.
Also, it depends if you care about the.
I would say to answer the question, how did I deal with it? I would say the way I would approach it, or the way that I feel like I did approach it, was it doesn't matter whether you think you're the best tattooer or you are the best tattooer or you want to be the best tattooer. It's like you've got to know you're coming into an industry that is more than just a job for a lot of people, and I think it should be for most tattooers. It's like a passion. It's a lifelong, almost obsession,
a lifestyle.
Exactly. And so I think it carries, you know, what happens within the industry and what other tattooers are doing or not doing carries a lot of almost emotional weight with everyone involved in tattooing. And that's not necessarily your issue as the young tattooer or anything like that, but I just think it's something that you need to be considerate of. And knowing that, and it should, I'm not saying it should stop you from doing things or approaching your career the way you want to approach it, but I think just having that awareness that you doing certain things and saying certain things has more of an impact on other people within industry than in other industries. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I would say like chefing, for example. I feel like you could do anything in chefing and it would already have been done, or people wouldn't care, or you'd almost be looked at as like, oh, how progressive is this guy? You know, that's fantastic. I could be wrong, but I think because like not the downside, but what we never talk about in tattooing is it's like you're actually doing something to someone's body. It's permanent. Mm-hmm. You know, it's all fun. It's all about art. It's all about style. It's all about busyness, all this sort of shit.
But this is changing the way that their body looks.
The reality is you're doing something that's actually quite serious. And that's why I always, you know, those typical sort of older heads who are like, it needs to be done this way. It should be done this way. It's like there are a lot of really solid lessons in there that I think you do need to learn.
I agree.
And it's a hard sort of tightrope to walk, you know, like balancing act between being more progressive and doing things that haven't been done before and stuff like that. And then like going the traditional route, you know, which is like grind it, you know, be the bottom dog the whole time until you've tattooed for 15 years and then you can finally...
Then I'll give you the respect that you want or whatever.
So I think it's like you've just got to really assess your whole situation and go like, is sticking at this and, you know, maybe dealing with some shit that I think's a bit outdated, is that going to still get me where I want to go? Because if it's not, it's like, well, then consider what you're doing. But if it is, if you're like, you know what, I am actually progressing here, I am learning and stuff, and one day I will get the opportunity to do it how I think it should be done, I want to do it, then it's like, well, you know, I think in the long term, you'll be grateful for building that respect and stuff like that within tattooing.
Yeah. I will say that I did struggle a little bit with it, mainly because my boss was my husband. But at the end of the day, when you do have a really shit day at work and you feel like a bit defeated or like, oh, fuck, there's just no respect, like, you know, you are the apprentice, you sort of just have to do what you're told in a sense. There does need to be a level of respect, but it's a fine line in that mentor-apprentice scenario. And I know a lot of tradies struggle with that as well. But I have the personality type where I don't like being told what to do. But at the end of the day, I just kept saying like, Bella, just shut the fuck up and think about the long-term situation here and where this is going to get you if you just bite your tongue. And because normally I'm a react first, think about the consequences later person. And I think one amazing thing that tattooing has taught me is to flip that way of thinking. I still act first on a lot of things, but work-wise, I think I have matured a bit in my decision-making.
Yeah.
So I do fuck up sometimes, like not the tattoos, but all of that. You just need to view the long-term goal.
Definitely. And I get it. It's frustrating, and it frustrates me still because we're in a fortunate enough position where we can sort of make our own decisions about what we're doing and push our careers in whatever direction we want them to go. But I still, I still sit here and there was lots of things I'd love to be able to talk about, and I think it would be interesting and you could have great conversations, but we just, you're just too worried about what other people will think within tattooing or what the reactions will be and stuff. And I think that's, I think on one hand that's a good thing, because I do think there's lots of things that should be.
But it would be the same for anyone in their job. There would be scenarios that you would want to bring up with your boss or your senior employees and be like, hey, what if we did this?
Yeah.
But you're burning too many bridges by doing it.
Of course. And back to the Hunter Brothers thing, I think that was one of the great things about it was we actually just did do whatever the fuck we wanted. And
no regrets.
There was no, I get to the end of it and I wasn't like, fuck, I wish we should have done this because we did everything that we wanted to do. And so I don't even think I answered the question. I just rambled on, but
I also do think you learn from mistakes, and a big mistake you're going to learn from very fucking quickly.
Yeah, not even mistakes. It's like you just got to, at the end of the day, it's like it's your life and it's your career. So
my Dragon Ball Z quote.
You've almost got to play the game and go like, fuck, I might be hating this, And there was lots of days where I never hated it at Vintique, but there was days where it was like I was like getting in trouble for doing the wrong thing or making mistakes or whatever.
There were definitely days where you and I would have a shit
and I was
one,
like,
and I would
fuck, what am I doing? Or I could go fucking do my own thing, but it was like, you put in the time, and then when the opportunity comes up to do it how you want to do it or whatever, then everyone supports you in doing that because you've shown that you respect everyone and you respect what you're doing, more importantly.
And I also think it is very good to be vulnerable. Learn from it.
Damn. Psychology session.
Fuck, getting deep. All right. Now not just so deep.
You've got 100 things written down on that phone. Fucking hell.
So
We've got 8 minutes to go, Bella.
Oh, well, sorry, we're going to have to go over because you rambled too much.
Fuck, all right.
All right, so this is a quick spitfire answer.
Okay.
No fucking rambling, okay? And these are purely questions for Hal.
Yep.
And there's 21 questions.
21? We're not going to get through all of them.
That's why I said random, quick spitfire.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
One meal for the rest of your life. What is it?
Tuna pesto pasta.
Boring. Dinner with one person in the world. Dead, alive, your made-up best friend when you were a child. If you had one.
Wow.
Ooh,
what are we doing? Just having dinner and it's conversation or?
Yeah, it's just a one-on-one dinner, and dinner can be wherever you want in the world, but you get to choose the one guest. And you can... Shut the fuck up. That's boring.
Doesn't have to.
You have dinner with me every night.
So what? I could choose to have dinner with other people, but I don't.
Oh, you're so lame.
Hey, you wanted the answers.
If you could choose anyone to be your tattoo mentor again, who would it be? Also dead or alive?
Wouldn't change a thing.
Stick with Bobby.
Bobby and Scott, 100%.
Okay. How cute.
Well, why would I? Some of my best friends gave me fantastic opportunities. In a way, they have had almost the biggest impact on my life.
Carved you into
Other
who
than
you are.
family and you, the biggest impact on my life, guaranteed by far.
Definitely. I was sort of hoping that you would answer it with them, but I wasn't sure. That's why I threw it in.
Fuck that. No one else.
Till death, baby.
Yeah.
Do you have any nicknames that... Because obviously people... your name on your birth certificate is Hal.
Yes.
But through your life, you've had many nicknames.
I wouldn't say many nicknames.
Well, just silly ones from footy and whatever.
So my oldest friends, Dylan and Brock and Gabe and stuff, when we were playing Fitzroy Juniors, they used to call me On The. Because On The Hunt. Mm-hmm. And
I always thought that was so bad.
Brock's dad, who was the coach, he started saying that. So they used to call me that. They sometimes still call me that, but it wasn't a real big thing. And when I was at Cannon, the Calder Cannons in the TAC Cup, which is the the draft process to get into the AFL. Brandon, who was one of my good friends, he still plays at the Gold Coast, played at Richmond. Brandon Ellis, he used to call me Jarhead because I had like a military style haircut.
Yeah,
I believe. That was pretty much it.
Yeah,
I never really got any other nicknames than that.
Nah. Your family and I call you Halsey sometimes.
That's not a nickname,
But-
though. It's just my name.
It's just a cuter name for you.
Come on.
All right. 3 words to describe yourself. Think about this one. We're definitely getting through this in 8 minutes.
We might, actually. 3 words. I'm going to sound like the biggest fuckhead if I say good things about myself.
Nah, you gotta.
Driven. Honest. One more. Can't really mean the same thing, can it?
Whatever.
Aspirational.
Good choices.
Yeah.
Do you prefer text or phone calls?
Texts.
Your favourite TV show?
Ooh. Of all time? Or?
Of all time.
Of all time.
You can only choose one.
Fuck. Friends.
Ultimate tattoo design that you would be happy to tattoo every single day for the rest of your career?
Skull.
Knew it. Do you have a celebrity hall pass?
Kendall Jenner.
Yeah, knew it.
Thanks, Bella.
And I've actually said many times, if you ever meet her in the flesh and she wants to sleep with you, you're allowed to.
I
don't
doubt
care.
she would.
I would be jealous because I would want to sleep with her.
Okay.
Now we're getting real vulnerable.
Yeah, okay.
Last time you cried?
Fuck. Oh, man.
It takes a lot for you and I both to cry. Me, a bit easier, but...
Fuck.
No, I might answer this. You cried watching a dog rescue video a little while ago.
Yeah, that was it.
But what was the time before that?
No, that was it. Yeah, Bella used to send me these fucked up videos of like dogs getting abandoned and shit.
It's because I wanted more dogs and
So
he
that
wouldn't let
was
me get more
hard.
than the 2 we have. What was the time before that though?
I actually can't remember.
Silence kills me.
I can't remember. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to act like I don't cry or whatever, but I can't.
I reckon you and I would cry maybe 3 times a year. You would cry maybe once.
You cry all the time, Bella.
Shut the fuck up. I do not.
Next.
Most annoying trait of any colleague. And you don't have to say a colleague, just in general.
I'm going to throw them all under the bus here. Drug culture.
Oh, thank fuck. I
They'll hate that. They'll hate that I say that because they always make fun of me. So I'll give the context on that quickly. When I used to tattoo Cody when he was younger, he was telling me some story, and my honest answer was like, I said to him, apparently, I can't remember saying it, but he always tells people. I said to him, oh man, I wouldn't know. Like, I'm not really into drug culture. And he was like left there thinking that I thought he was like a full drug addict or whatever because he did like party drugs one time.
He's done them more than
So
once.
they make fun of me as like the old dad who's like, oh, bloody stoners.
Yeah. Hal and I don't like drugs at all. So we don't really get into those conversations.
Next.
Do you think money can buy happiness?
I don't think it can make you happy. I think it gives you the freedom to choose what you want to do and be happy.
How old were you when you had your first kiss?
12.
Yep. One superpower for the...
What the fuck are these questions?
I just like Googled random fucking questions.
I can tell.
One superpower forever.
Don't need one.
Shut up.
Don't want one.
No, I wouldn't want one either, but it was just like a random question. You have to have an answer.
I would love to be able to fly. That would be cool.
Yeah, okay. What is the last thing you Googled? Get your phone out. Get your phone out.
Googled.
Well, like, what's the last thing you typed into your search bar? It doesn't have to be on Google.
How do you find that out?
Just give me your phone. No. Yes.
That's a big risk.
This is honest. It's probably like Pornhub.
No. How do you find that?
Just go into
history or whatever. Okay. Hang on.
And I need the top one.
Shell Harbour Surfing, South Coast, New South Wales.
Boring.
Visit newsouthwales.com.
Boring. I was hoping it would be something like really awkward.
No, it was Best Waves, New South Wales, South Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some bad shit before that, so lucky.
Damn it. When did you Google that? Was that this morning?
The Shell Harbour thing.
Yeah.
No, it was yesterday at work. I was looking up where we should
What
go
was
for
before it?
Airbnb trips.
What was before?
No, you ask the questions, you
it.
get the answers.
Sorry, gang. Favorite part of your daily routine?
Dog park in the morning with the
That's
dogs.
what I would say.
Yeah.
And this morning you went alone. I'm so sorry.
In the pitch black. It was so I was
Yeah.
throwing the ball for the dogs and I actually could not see anything.
Yeah.
And
You got home just as it was getting bright enough to see.
I don't know if you do this, but I do this is like I always prepare myself for an attack.
So do I.
So
when you're there alone, mainly because I did get attacked.
Every 30 seconds, I would
Turn around
really quickly.
Yeah.
And then be facing that way. So they
And
knew.
the best is when you do turn around and you see someone, but it's just like a person you're used to seeing there, and you're like, "Fuck, that's pretty
it
embarrassing."
would have
They've
been weird if they were
watching me.
standing behind me. It was pitch black.
Yeah.
All right, one more question.
No, I've got 5 more. We'll be quick.
5, come on.
What is one thing people assume about you that isn't true?
Ooh. Do you want to say within tattooing?
Yeah.
That my dad owns all the shops.
Yeah, we've said that. Yep. How do you define success?
Ooh. Multifaceted answer. Happiness and financial freedom.
Yep. What is the best decision you've ever made?
Ooh. Hitching my wagon to Bobby.
What?
What do you mean?
What is that answer?
Hitching my wagon.
What does that even mean?
So he's like, that means I'm like his trailer.
Oh, okay.
I've just follow him, do what he does.
Gotcha. Okay. What's your biggest career fear or regret?
My fear always is that the bookings disappear and one day you're just not like busy or popular and people don't want to get tattooed by you anymore. And regret. I don't really have any.
No regrets. Second time I've said that.
No
on this
regrets,
episode.
yeah.
And final question. Would you ever do porn? People ask you this all the time.
Weirdly, they do ask me
That's
this
why
all
I
the time.
added it in.
So the only way I would ever do it if it was a guaranteed financial return that was going to be better than I could get doing
Make a
other
drastic
things.
change to your life.
Yep. So if we're talking like good coin, few $100,000 a year, then I probably would do it.
Yeah.
But it would have to be like something that was like substantial.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
All right. If anyone wants a Pornhub deal with Hal Hunter, a couple of $100,000 a year.
Yeah, well, the guys who started that, there was a doco on Netflix, they made billions. So
Yeah, we need to add that to the list.
pretty
Anyway,
bloody good.
they were my 21 questions.
Well,
did
thank
you.
you.
Did you enjoy that?
No, it was actually quite good. Interesting to answer the
A lot of very
questions.
weird ones.
Yeah,
Random
so-
ones. But I threw in ones that people have asked you quite often.
Yeah.
And then I just had to go on like Google and Pinterest for filler questions, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I'll get them. I'll ask you next week, Bella.
Oh, goodness.
So, if everyone could rate and follow the podcast, that would be fantastic.
How many stars are we at? Are we still at
4.9.
Fuck the haters.
No, it's good motivation.
True.
Try and make the episodes better. Any reviews or anything, just send us a message. Any questions? Yeah, always. And
Any things you don't like about it?
yeah,
Tell us.
anything you want to hear more of. So, thank you. Give it a rate, give it a follow, share it to a friend. It'd be very helpful.
Hey, it's Mother's Day coming up this weekend. Share it to your mother.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This episode is brought to you by Carlisle Tattoo Co. 178 Carlisle Street, St Kilda, Melbourne, Australia.